your prayers. Now, today, guys, I'm going to talk more about a spiritual journey and just this conversation around complaining when God answers your prayers and share a little bit about my personal story. So, like everybody, guys, I think every single person in this world goes through challenging times of life, right? It's truly inevitable, right? And one of the things that I pray for consistently is to live a meaningful life, live a life that I impact other people, that other people are impacted by the work that I do, and just live a life that matters, right? Live a life that's meaningful. Now, what's crazy though is a lot of people want that life, and what we find, and I find this in myself as well, is we begin to complain when life gets challenging, or life gets hard, or we're faced with adversity. And then we sit there and we ask the question, God, why are you putting me through this? Why am I going through this? Why is this happening to me? And I get it. So I'm talking about specifically when you're praying for like growth. So I'm not talking about praying for, a lot of people are dealing with really bad things in their life right now that they've never prayed for. And I'm talking about, either something with your family, an illness in your family or something like that. Obviously, none of us are ever going to pray for that. I'm talking about when you are praying and asking for growth in maybe like your business, for example, right? I have prayed for growth for my business and my family. I've prayed for wealth and abundance for my family and everything like that as well. All those things that we do pray for. And when we're praying for those things, God is going to send us on a journey ultimately. And in my journey, if I look back 5 years ago, I was praying for the problems that I have right now. And what do I mean by that? It's been quite the journey the past 5 years, starting and building Legacy Farmer. I went through a bunch of different things after I left the banking industry. And there was obviously a lot of hardships during that journey. There was a lot of challenging times during that journey where I was questioning, like, why is this happening to me? What's going on here? Right. And when we're in the middle of it, we really can't see why we're facing that problem. We can't see why we're having to go through that. Typically, we don't experience that till 2 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years after, maybe it's 5 years after, right? We don't really understand it until at some point later in life. But there's always a time when God gives us the answer as to why he put us through that hardship. Now, like I was saying though, is a lot of people, we're praying for growth in business, right? We have a lot of our customers in Legacy Farmer, man, they are praying to solve some big problems inside of their business, whether it's financially, whether it's with family, whether it's with their operation or relationships or just whatever, right? We all have prayers all around our lives and everything like that. Now, the thing that I want to share with you though is that in order for me, for example, to live a meaningful life, in order to live that meaningful life, describe to me what makes it a meaningful life? Like, to you, what's going to make your life a meaningful life? And when I look at my viewpoint on that answer is, in order for me to live a meaningful life, obviously there's going to be success in there, right? But what makes every story really unique and powerful is the journey to success. And on that journey, there's hardships, there's challenges, there's struggles, there's adversity that you have to overcome, right? And the thing is that when you're praying for these things, right? And a lot of you, I just want to give you this perspective. Again, a lot of the problems that I have today, I was praying for these problems 5 years ago. I was hoping to have these types of problems that we have today around our business and our life and where we're at and where we're going and things like that. And it's just kind of crazy because when you think about it that way, you start looking at the challenges that you're experiencing right now through a different lens. Right. And the thing is, I want to make you aware of that so that you are not sitting here playing the victim or asking, why is this happening to me? What did I do to deserve this? When the reality is, most of you and the problems you're dealing with right now, again, I'm talking about problems that are dealing with inside of your business, or you're being challenged to grow or expand or something like that. Those challenges and those problems are something you prayed for. And that is part of God's journey to get you to that ultimate destination, to help you become the person that he ultimately has destined you to become. Right. And when you start looking at those things through that lens, it changes your perspective on every area of your life and every challenge, every hardship you go through. Honestly, it gives you the ability to finally sit and just be at peace for a while. And just have this patience in your life. And it's like, okay, we're going through some rough waters right now, but out of a majority of the river, right, 95% of it's pretty smooth, right? 95% of it's pretty calm, but we're going through this 5% of it right now to where it's really rough. It's really challenging. I'm not sure what we're going to do or how things are going to work out. And understand too, you don't have to have the answer to every problem. You don't have to have the answer to how you're going to solve getting through this struggle or this challenge or this hardship or whatever. God already has all that planned, right? That's the way I look at it. Like, hey, this is a part of the journey. If I'm going through this right now and it's a very challenging time, there is a reason for this. Also, don't forget, Jace, you prayed for this 3 to 5 years ago. You were asking for this problem, this challenge, and ultimately this result in your life. And in order to get that result, you have to go through some of these hardships. So I'll use some of our customers as an example. A lot of our members coming into Legacy Farmer, they are trying to build a family legacy that lasts for multiple generations. And like a lot of farmers and ranchers, they've been nothing but struggling here the past 8 to 10 years, right? Up and down prices and just inconsistency. They don't know their numbers. Their business is a mess and all that type of stuff. Now, think about somebody who's in that position. It's like, God, I'm just praying for an answer here. I'm praying for you to step into my life. I'm praying for you to give me some guidance and some leadership. And then let's say he brings you like into Legacy Farmer, for example. Now all of a sudden, our team is stepping in, taking a look at your business, and we're helping you figure out your finances. We're helping you figure out your team and your organization and your taxes and your bookkeeping and your legacy and estate planning. And guess what is involved in solving all of those things? Problems that we must overcome, challenges that we must overcome, crucial conversations that we must have in order to get to that end result. Now, you can either look at that, right? Some of our members can look at that and be like, man, how am I going to get through all this? This is so overwhelming. I just don't know how I'm going to make this journey, versus like, hey, thank you, God. This is exactly what I was asking for. I'm willing and I'm committed to go through this trying time or this struggle that I'm about to enter into in order to get to that end result. It just changes the way that you look at your problems in your life, my friend. And like I said, everybody wants, in my viewpoint, right, or at least for what I want to live a meaningful life. And in order for me to do that, I have to be accepting of the challenges and the hardships that God is going to present in my journey in order to make me earn that result, right, or the success that I'm searching for, right? And it's like, man, every time we go through a trying time, it's a reminder for me that God is just testing my conviction and where I'm going. Right? Am I really truly committed to getting there and creating the life that I want for myself and my family and the people around me? And how can I just be a bigger asset in this world? How can I impact more people? How can I help more people? You got to have that target, right? And again, the whole point of this message is if right now, if you're going through a really challenging time, or you're going through just anything difficult in your life, whether it's personal or business, I want you to think back, like, man, 5 years ago, three to 5 years ago, whatever that is there a point where I was praying for these problems? Right? Is there a point where I was literally asking God for a bigger business or more success or more wealth or a bigger team or more customers? And now you have them, but yet you want to complain. You're sitting at this crossroads, figuring out whether how should I complain about now that I have too many customers, or now I have too much going on, or whatever, because again, we want the end result, but it's inevitable that we're going to face problems and challenges along the way. And we have to be accepting of that as people. We have to be accepting and trusting that God ultimately has a plan out there for us, right? I truly believe in that. And ultimately, when we get to these trying times, it's like God is just testing your faith and your conviction, your faith in him, right? And his guidance and his leadership in your life, but also your conviction in yourself and your ability to solve this problem, to overcome this challenge, to overcome this adversity, and ultimately earn the desired result that you want, right? So that's the message for today, my friends. Again, think back to the problems and challenges you're dealing with right now. Think back to 3 to 5 years ago and when you actually prayed for these problems and challenges. Also consider the possibility that if everybody took all the problems and challenges and threw them into a big pile together, that you'd most likely, it's almost a certainty that you would take your problems after seeing everybody else's and turn around and sprint away with them and like take your problems back, because there's always going to be somebody out there that's in a worse position than you, or going through more difficult times than you. But again, remember, it's those difficult times that create a meaningful life. And if you've prayed for a meaningful life, then it's inevitable that you're going to face some sort of adversity or challenges. And that's a good thing too, my friends. So just wanted to share this message because it's relevant not only for me and my journey, but for a lot of business owners out there, especially in the ag industry. A lot of you guys that listen to this channel and stuff, you're faithful just like I am. You believe in God just like I do. And you have that connection there. And so I'm sharing this message with you today to make sure you understand. And if you're stuck in a position where you're complaining right now, you understand that you may have asked for these things. You may have asked for these challenges. You may have asked for the success that comes after them. And this is just a part of your journey in order to earning that success that God has planned for you. So my friends, that concludes today's message. I hope you found it valuable. I hope it impacted some of you guys and gave you something to think about. And we'll catch you on the next video.